In its 4-year development period, it completed the most comprehensive test program of the company's history. The expectations for it are gigantic because it's not supposed to be just any SUV, but the very first luxury sports utility vehicle in the world. With the Bentley Bentayga, the British traditional brand is entering the fastest growing segment on the market. Over 600 horsepower, at a cost of over 200,000 euros, the Bentayga is a superlative on wheels. At first glance, a typical Bentley, only just higher, and with a rear end that we have so far not seen. The form language is reminiscent of its Continental and Flying Spurs siblings. The absolute highlights are its inner values. Once the heavy doors open, the fragrance of expensive leather hits. Perfect processing and attention to detail wherever you look. The rear seat entertainment is completely new. It is an Android tablet which can be used on the one hand for working, on the other also for control of functions within the vehicle. The data of the Bentayga are impressive. With a maximum speed of 301 kilometers an hour, it is currently the fastest production SUV in the world. But does Bentley and SUV fit together?
Bentley and the luxury SUV fit perfectly together. It was great to be able to define this new segment, and the result shows that it was the right thing to do. I think it's important for a brand like Bentley to think out of the box sometimes and to think about what it could be. We have a very demanding, very individual customer set who simply want to have something special, something individual.
Bentley's customers have an average of 8 vehicles in their fleets, among them also an SUV, which so far came from another brand due to lack of options. Where a Range Rover or a Porsche Cayenne Turbo now stands, soon a Bentayga will take its place. It scores with a majestic appearance. It glides almost silently across the asphalt on huge 22-inch rims. Almost no noise penetrates the interior from the 608 horsepower 6-liter V12 engine. If you really want to hear something from the engine, you really have to drive hard. But for that, a Bentley has too much style. The British luxury SUV weighs 2.6 tons, which is really a lot. A sporty driving behavior cannot be expected with such a high base weight. But thanks to ingenious electronic helpers, it drives much better than initially expected. Air suspension, roll stabilization, and adaptive dampers keep it safe and quiet on the road. Bentley has really done everything to transfer the features to the Bentayga that elite customers of other models of the brand are accustomed to. The driver has the choice between 3 different driving modes. In addition to the well-known comfort and sport mode, the so-called Bentley mode is available. And this is a compromise, which turns out to be very harmonious on country roads. The question remains whether customers also see it like this.
We had an original plan to construct 3,600 vehicles per year. We have already increased our production to 5,500 vehicles. So those are the facts.
The Bentayga therefore seems to be a complete success from the beginning. Rich people not only need beautiful limousines and fast sports cars, but also one of the other vehicles to transport their belongings in. Even though it's likely that only a few will ever make it, a small detour off-road should be permitted, even with a well over 200,000 euro expensive SUV. The Bentayga can be adjusted by means of the selector lever for use away from the asphalt. Transmission control, gas absorption, and slip control can be adjusted in a playful manner depending on the substrate. A gear reduction is not available, but the Bentayga setup is sufficient for light off-road terrain. It is rather a luxury SUV and not an off-road vehicle. With its basic price of 208,000 euros, it is really very expensive, but it does not end there. A well-equipped vehicle touches the 300,000 euro mark. Sporty luxury SUVs are modern all-rounders. They combine comfort and practicality with the passion of a sports car. However, they all have one big drawback. They're not as fast as super sports cars, but they also cost as much.